Hi everyone, welcome back to my Chicago Bears YouTube channel page. Today we're talking about the postgame analysis of the Bears vs. Bengals. Yesterday was a great team win for the Bears with a victory of 33-7, so sit back and comfortable because this is going to be a long video. Yesterday when watching the game, I haven't seen the Bears play this well in a long time. It's probably been since the Bears had their defense of Urlacher, Peppers, Tillman, Jennings, and their offense those days. Let's get into the stats of this game. For total yardage, the Bears outnumbered them 482 to 234, which I'm insanely impressed with their performance. First downs, all these stats I'm about to read off were in favor of the Bears. So first downs 29 to 14, total plays 72 to 53, passing yards 250 to 164, rushing yards 232 to 70, turnovers 0 to 2, and time possession of 38 minutes 9 seconds and 21 minutes 51 seconds. Now, just as last week, the one stat that stands out here is time possession. Last week we all realized that the Bears are on the defense on the field for 38 minutes. This week they turned it around, had the offense out there for 30 minutes, which is exactly what you gotta do. Them being on the field this long helped them get the 33 points they needed to win the game, and the defense out there for a very short time, only allowing 7 points. Let's get into individual stats. Trubisky had a great game this week. He went 25 of 32 with 270 yards, with an 8.5 average and a 112.4 passer rating. Exactly what the Bears need to do is let him throw the ball. He was on point the whole game, only completing 7 passes, and they basically did what I said in the last video. They gotta let Trubisky throw, and they did it, and the reason they did it is because they wanted to win the game. Now for the Bengals stats, Dalton, he went 14 of 29 with 141 yards, a 4.9 average per catch, and 59.7 passer rating. This quarterback, he's a very good athlete quarterback, and it's very surprising that he wasn't able to do as well as I thought he would, since he's got A.J. Green out there, Brandon LaFell, and Tyler Kroft. It was a very unusual game for Andy Dalton in Cincinnati. And then later in the game, because they knew that they were down big, they put A.J. Buchanan in, their second-string quarterback, and he went 4 of 8, 47 yards with a 5.9 average and a 68.2 passer rating. Going on to the rushing stats, Jordan Howard had a phenomenal game. He had 23 carries for 147 yards, a 6.4 average per carry, and 2 touchdowns. Exactly what the Bears need is a big game from Jordan Howard. Again, in the last video I did mention this. Key success was Jordan Howard being one of them. He played his game. He started rushing off strong from the beginning, getting about a 20-yard run on their first drive that resulted in a touchdown. And because of him, his big rushing game, he just led this team to a win. And yesterday he did make Bears history, being the first Bears running back in the franchise history to, in his first 2 seasons, to have 1,000 rushing yards back-to-back. So it's a great job for him. And then Cohen, he had 12 carries for 80 yards and a 6.7 average. He had a great game. He almost had like a 40-yard touchdown, but they called it back because of he stepped out of bounds. And then Trubisky, he had 2 carries for 5 yards with a 2.5 average and a touchdown. Now, those numbers aren't good, but the number that stands out is touchdown. Later in the game, he had a read option, and he rolled out to the right for a 4-yard touchdown, which was easy. It was easy. He was right there, wide open, and just ran it in. And then for the Cincinnati Bengals rushing stats, we got Giovanni Bernard with 11 carries, 62 yards, and 5.6 average. He was their biggest playmaker on the team yesterday. He ran the ball, he caught the ball, which I'm going to get into later, and he performed the greatest on the team overall. And then Brian Hill, he had 2 carries for 8 yards with a 4.0 average. Then for receiving yards, Kendall Wright had a phenomenal game as well. He had 10 receptions for 107 yards with a 10.7 average. He caught almost every single ball that was thrown at him. He got targeted 11 times, caught 10. So if we're going to keep getting him the ball, keep throwing to him, getting the ball in slants and stuff, he will have phenomenal years in Chicago. Josh Bellamy had 2 receptions for 52 yards and 26 average, which one of the plays was about a 39-yard catch. That was just a little quick slant, and he just turned up the field and just started running. Then Shaheen, he had 4 receptions for 44 yards and 11.0 average and a touchdown. On the touchdown, what he did was a little out route in the end zone, a little play action pass. He rolled out to the right, and Trubisky just threw it right over his shoulder, and he got it. Going on to the Bengals receiving stats, we had Giovanni Bernard with 6 receptions for 68 yards and 11.3 average. Like I said, he was the biggest playmaker of the team. He led in rushing yards, he led in receiving yards. He's a very very good player, and we contained him very well to not let them score very many points. AJ Green, we didn't allow anything from him. He only had 5 receptions for 64 yards with a 12.8 average. He was targeted 12 times during the game, and Kyle Fuller, all the corners played very well on him. Kyle Fuller played the best. Eddie Jackson played very well, which I'm going to get into later. But because of that, those corners playing very good, AJ Green was able to have a very good game. I did really expect this game, AJ Green to have a very good game with corners. We have them being beat up, injured, like Bryce Callahan. Kyle Fuller still shaking up from that hand injury he had. And basically they just went out there and just defense played very well. And then Brandon LaFell had 3 receptions for 24 yards with 8.0 average, and he scored the only touchdown of the game, which happened in the very first drive. And that very first drive for them looked very solid. I just don't know what happened to the Bengals after the very first drive. And then getting into the turnovers of this game. The only turnovers were caused by the Bears. Eddie Jackson had 1 interception off a tipped ball. There's very many tipped balls in this game by Cincinnati that Andy Dalton threw behind the receiver, or just wasn't even near him. There's a couple times, overall there should have been 3 picks in this game. Prince Mukamara, he should have had a pick. He jumped right in front of AJ Green, bounced right out of his arms, and AJ Green caught it for an easy, about 20-yard gain. And then Kyle Fuller, he almost had an interception, which got for a pick 6, but he dropped it. And the 1 interception that did count was Eddie Jackson's off the tip ball. And then Eddie Jackson also caused a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. During this play, he got the fumble recovery and the forced fumble. AJ Green caught the ball on the sideline. He was trying to go out of bounds, but Eddie Jackson had his arm in there, ripped the ball out, and the officials called him out of bounds. But then John Fox didn't like the call. He challenged it, and it was easy to see that AJ Green's foot was still up in the air. Eddie Jackson ripped the ball out. It was a completed catch, and he got the fumble recovery. So, during the challenge, the officials were saying that they were challenging it if it was complete or incomplete, but they realized that AJ Green had the ball for too long, resulting in a fumble. And then why we won this game? Dowell Loganes, he did not run the scheme of run pass. He ran the play action. He ran the shotgun. There's times where I saw first downs we were throwing on. There's so many times the first downs we were throwing the ball and getting first downs right away. That's what this team needs to do. They got young players, athletic players, fast, quick. They get in the open field, they're going to make big plays, and they're going to do it, and they showed us exactly what they can do yesterday. And then they kept the defense off the field, like I said earlier, with 38 minutes of offensive plays and about 22 minutes of defensive plays. So they turned around from last week knowing that was unacceptable, and they basically just turned around, and the offense played very high level. And then Howard and Trubisky, they combined for most of the yards for this team. Like I said, they had almost 484 total offensive yards, and Howard had 147 rushing yards, and Trubisky had about 271 passing yards. So those are 2 big reasons why we won, and all 3 of those are the reason why we won. So that concludes my video for today. Check in back this week. It's going to be an earlier video because the Bears are playing Saturday against the Lions in Detroit, and it was a great team win. Talk to you guys later.